Joining us now with reaction, editor-in-chief, Life Zet, Fox News contributor, nationally syndicated radio host, Laura Ingraham. You're laughing.
Well, I listened to you, and I'm like, these are the golden oldies of the Clintons. I mean, you didn't hit Webb Hubble or, Broderick. I mean, you could have gone through all of that.
But it's all a lie. She's now making money off a bunch of suckers that are buying a book that's full of lies and fake news.
Yeah, I think it's time to bleach
I think she believes it.
Yeah, bleach bit the book.
Yeah.
Take hammers to the book. I mean, that's what her staff should have done before they released it. And I was thinking of the old quote from Teddy Roosevelt, that if you could kick the person in the pants most responsible for your own troubles, you wouldn't sit for a month. And Hillary Clinton has to think about that. Even Eleanor Roosevelt, her idol, talked about how we shape our own lives. We make our own decisions, and ultimately we're responsible until we die for those decisions and our own fate. And yet, every turn, whether it's going back to 1998 and Monica Lewinsky, all the way up through the Clinton scandals of the Clinton Foundation, it's never, ever, ever the Clintons' fault. And I think that refusal to take really pretty much any personal responsibility of any note is part of the reason why Trump won, because people are just kind of sick of that type of politics. Trump is not someone who's going to apologize a lot. That's not who he is. But he did expose the Clintons for what they do and who they are. And I think that second debate, Sean, remember the second debate where he stood next to her and he had all those women who
it was creepy.
In the front row.
He was within 10 feet of her.
Yeah, and all the women who Bill Clinton had abused, and in Broderick and Paula Jones and all the rest. And he said, "You're talking about some locker room talk that I regret and I'm sorry for. Yeah, that's bad. But what about what happened to these women?" And he called out the Clintons for what most Republicans in public office were afraid to do, which is their utter disregard for the norms of human behavior and how most public servants treat the oath of office, which is with great respect and great reverence, not the revolving door of influence that we saw at the State Department. So you nailed it in your monologue.
All right, let me ask you this, because Mitch McConnell said, our expectations have been really, really high, that after, begging for the House, the Senate, and the White House, that, after 7.5 years expecting health care, that was really unfair of us to expect the job done. Now he's saying the tax bill may go into next year. Now, my first reaction is one of anger and feeling of betrayal.
Yeah, it's rightful anger. The people expect action. If Mitch McConnell cannot get this done, and I know they're meeting in the White House tonight, I think they're having dinner, but if he can't get this done with the House in Republican hands, obviously the Senate and the presidency, then I think it's time for him and a lot of his colleagues to go into a different line of work. They're just not all that good, contrary to what we've heard at politics. So maybe Mitch McConnell either rides off into the sunset, does something in Kentucky, maybe he can run a bourbon company or something down there, and leave politics to people like Donald Trump, who can actually cut deals when necessary and get results for the American people. Because so far, they've given us a bunch of goose eggs here. We've gotten almost nothing from the Republicans, and Donald Trump's sick of it. So he's going to cut deals if he has to move the ball down the field, and Republicans could actually build out a movement that would sustain this party for decades, Sean, if they actually followed the America First, Make America Great Again agenda. They blow the party. Into new areas of the country. It'd be great.
Kennedy did it and Reagan did it. When Reagan went from 70 to 28% top marginal tax rate in his years as president, revenues doubled and we created 20 million new jobs. If we go from the highest corporate tax rate in the industrialized world to the lowest, if we go for a middle-class tax cut, repatriation of multinationals, 7 brackets to 3, and then add energy jobs, we can have that success and more. I don't think that's that hard. Even if you have a Senate lunch, the Senate barbershop, the Senate dining room, and the Senate smoke room and brandy shop, you ought to be able to find an hour or two to get that done.
Well, and look, they find money for all sorts of garbage on Capitol Hill. I mean, they allocate billions of dollars that, frankly, we never see hide nor hair of again, and it's not, to what end? And in this point, we have a chance at the first time in 30 years to revitalize the American economy for a new generation of Americans, long after Mitch McConnell is gone, long after we're gone. This could actually sustain the country as China continues to bear down on us, continues to outperform, continues to grow its military. We need an economy that works for the average person. And we've tried the other way. We've tried globalization on steroids, and that's made a lot of people rich, but it hasn't made the middle rich and the forgotten man and women who showed up to vote for Trump. And Donald Trump has to keep those people in mind as he does these negotiations.
Laura Ingraham, good to see you. Thank you.